We are live streaming. Here we are. So I am so excited to be here with Teresa Nat, who is not only a former client, I consider her a friend, and she is a branding photographer expert. And I'm really excited to have you here today and have you share some of your expertise with us. Do you want to talk a little bit about your company before we get going?
Sure. So my company is Teresa Nat Studio, and I specialize in creating images with stories behind them for businesses and creating videos with very much the same message. So it's all about creating impact through storytelling. And I know a lot of people struggle with the usage of their photos, and most people fall into the trap of they think that they only need to use them on social media, but there's so many ways. And that's why brand photography is so important, because there's so many ways to utilize those photos and carry through your message.
I love that. And as you know, you and I had so much fun playing yesterday. We did some reels and we're doing some collaborations with each other. And one of the things we were talking about was strategy, right? And so it's not only, you know, deciding you need the photos, but it's strategizing and figuring out what you need, you know, what are you going to use them for? But then it's actually, you know, where the rubber meets the road. So I love that you decided to do this, where you're going to go right into Canva and show people how to use them and get creative. So I'll let you take over.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to bring up my stuff. Oh, not that one. Okay. Hold on just a sec. I want to make sure I have the right thing pulled up. Okay, and now I can share. All right, so
Canva.com for free. If it's for free, it's for me.
It's true. I do want to reiterate that you will be limited if you use the free version. There's still plenty you can do with the free version, but some certain templates and photos and things you won't be able to use. The paid version, I think, is like $10 a month. So it's really.
So if you're doing all of your own stuff, you know, so for me, I'm fortunate enough to have VAs that they have all that and they do my stuff. But if you're creating your stuff, yeah, it's definitely worth the $10 upgrade.
Definitely. Because even like if you were to buy like Photoshop or something, that's $10+ a month anyways. And you don't have the templates and any of the preset stuff. So Canva is the way to go. And there's so much you can do on Canva. And the graphic designer in me, because I was a former graphic designer, is cringing hearing myself say that. But like for a small business owner, it really is a powerful program. So the first thing I want to talk about is your website, and specifically banner images for your website or even for your social media. I don't want to touch too much on social media, but banner is important. So when you go to Canva, you can actually just type in banner and it will bring up a whole bunch of templates that you can look at and select for said banner. If you want to get specific, you could type in Facebook banner. And then those ones will be specifically formatted for Facebook. So you don't have to worry about the dimensions being weird, which is what I really love about Canva. I know in the past, it was like such a pain to figure out the pixel sizes, and like this does all that for you. So you go through and you find, you know, whatever floats your boat, you'll be able to customize it. So don't get hung up on like, oh, this is brown. I don't have brown as my brand colors. Don't worry, you can change that. So I brought up a few ahead of time because I didn't want to waste time trying to find a thing. Hold on, I brought all my stuff up. Okay, so these are my banners I use for my newsletter, which is another great place to use banners because we should be all sending out a newsletter. And this is, I call mine T's Top 3. And I always share 3 tips every month for branding and, you know, growing your business. So these are my banners that I use. I have them all pre-set up so I can just drag and drop every month, and it's super quick and easy. So I set up like a blank one. This is, you know, Liz Hill, of course. I just threw one together for her. But even when you're working in the program itself, you can go over here to templates and say like, oh, I don't really like the way this looks. Again, you can search for banners and you can pick something totally different. This was a banner I was creating for another client who's a therapist. So when you're selecting the actual photos for the banners, no matter where they're going, you really want to be intentional with the photos you select. Intention is everything. What is the goal here? What is the message you're trying to really say visually? So with Meredith, her whole messaging was like, she wanted to create a safe space for people to come because she's a therapist and she wanted them to feel welcome and safe. So a lot of her photos we took have that messaging itself, but for her website banner or even her Facebook banner, this is a great picture for her because she's laughing, she's happy, it feels warm, it feels welcoming. And say, for example, we don't like this messaging or we don't like the color of these words here. So if you just double click and select the words, you can come up here and change the color. And what's nice about Canva is you can preload your brand colors, so they're always there and ready to go.
I love that. And how easy is it to upload your photos? So
so
I know one of your packages that you have, you give people 50 photos, which is fantastic. Most photographers do not do that. And that's why I love your packages so much. So here they have these 50 photos. And of course, they're probably going to put them in a Dropbox or Google Drive or something. How easy is it for you to just go and pick your photo and, plop it in?
So freaking easy. You hit this button, uploads, upload media, and then you just find on your computer where the photo is and then select it and hit open. And that's it. You can upload videos as well into Canva. You can upload music as long as it's not copyrighted music. And there's also graphics and it's just, oh God, there's just so much. But it's super, super easy. So let's make a banner really quick. So we'll go over here to templates, banner. Let's do just a website banner here. There we go. Okay, like this. So let's say this is our banner, but oh no, like our color, these are not our colors at all. No big deal. You just select the different elements, literally just clicking on the different elements and then come over here to background color. And then if you have your colors preloaded, you can use your color.
I love it. It's very easy.
Super easy. Again, double click the type here, go to the color, just change it. Here's your font, so you can change the font if you want.
It's so important to have those fonts, way back when you and I first started, we did our branding stuff and because you teach this all the time. It's so important to not only have your photos be streamlined, with your look and your image, but your font as well, and banners and your social media and your website, everything, it all has to tie in. So I love that you can preload all this stuff.
And you can even preload your fonts. You can upload, especially like I always recommend Google fonts because they're free and they're pretty universal. So if you have yours downloaded, you can upload it right to Canva and it will always be there ready to use, because some of their fonts are like a little different than what you would normally find.
Right. That's a great tip.
So if you don't see yours, you can upload it. So yeah, you can change the fonts. These little graphics, you can either, if you select them, you can hit the delete button on your computer, they'll delete. Over here in elements, there's all kinds of funky little graphics. So say you didn't like these little pencils, you could just type in makeup and go, oh, I like this better. And what's cool about the graphics is some of them are actually even more customizable. Not all of them, but some of them. See if I can find one. They have little like moving graphics. It's
That's
just
so cool.
Crazy what they have. I know. And then up here, you can actually select if you just want to bring up photos or if you just want to bring up graphics. So like this little teacup here, it's too much stuff now. I'm just gonna get rid of this stuff really quick. All right, so like this little teacup, when it's selected, you can see up here all the different colors that make it up. So again, you can go in there and change every single one to be your brand colors.
Awesome.
Which is really cool. So yeah, that's super helpful too, just to make it more on brand and individualized. But again, when you're picking the actual photo for your banner, for your website banner, you really want the photo you pick to sum up the message visually. Like what is your mission and vision in your business?
Right.
Again, like Meredith's, hers was really just about creating a safe space. For a Facebook banner, you might want to do something a little different, like just have a headshot and your stats or what you do or your tagline. Same with LinkedIn versus having more of a storytelling image.
Right. Or even a Facebook event banner is another one that people use Canva for.
Yep. And if you have maybe a picture of what you're doing at the event or something along that lines is always nice, just to set up ahead of time, like the expectation of what will happen. Okay, so banners for Facebook, LinkedIn, banners for your website, banners for your newsletter. So that's 3 things right there.
And Facebook events for sure.
Facebook events, yes, definitely. All right, so the next way you can use your brand photo, I'm going to talk about the newsletter just a little bit more because again, it is very important to be doing a newsletter.
That's right.
We want our newsletters to be really visually stimulating. If you get a newsletter and it's just pages of text, like who wants to read that? That just gets deleted immediately. But if there's engaging images, then definitely. And I'm going to share the one that Rachel sent out from Timeless Living Designs because it was, I thought, really fun. So this was her newsletter. I believe she sent it this morning. And she has her, her header here, her logo, and then right off the bat, she's got this really fun picture we did last year.
I was going to say, of course you took that photo. It's fabulous. Her pictures are great. You guys must have had a ball doing that.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But it really it pulls you in. I kind of want to know what's this all about. So I really so that's, it doesn't have to be fancy. Just having a photo that ties in with what you're talking about can be really, really impactful. I like to make little collages that I've been putting in to break up my text. So they feature a client every month and I always put their business and then a couple photos from their session. So this was Audra's. And these are like little collages. So again, in Canva, you can go over here and just type in photo collage. It'll bring up all different kinds of things. So you can go in and just customize and create.
Love it.
Whatever you want, really. Once you upload all your photos. Trying to use clients because I thought it'd be fun.
Clearly you use Canva a lot.
Yeah. So even if Rachel wanted to do another visual in her newsletter, we could do her working in the kitchen. And really all you do when you add these photos in is you click on the photo and you just drag it and drop it and you'll see it kind of go in there by itself. And then that's all you need to do. And then, if maybe it's cutting their head off, if you double click it, it'll bring up this little box and you can move it around or you can make it bigger if you want to make it bigger. So again, the customization is really amazing. These are just little graphic. You can get rid of them if you don't want them. So again, totally customized. Don't get too hung up on the little details because you can always change them. So creating fun graphics for your newsletter can really make impact and help with your open rate. Once people start seeing oh, this is actually interesting and this is fun and engaging, they'll be more likely to keep opening it. So that is newsletters. I have a little list. And the last thing for newsletters is your opt-ins. So if you're doing some kind of PDF opt-in, another great place to use your brand pictures.
And I love even if you're doing the newsletter to have, I know you can set it up. You can either do it in Constant Contact or you can do it in MailChimp where your signature has your photo right on it. Another one of your brand photos. And that's just like your template. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people use it in your email signature, your newsletter signature, like that is super important. And that one, you really want to use a nice headshot of yourself for that kind of stuff. Let's see, I was just trying to look. So say this is your opt-in.
That's a really fun photo.
This is what I send to my clients when I outline their photo shoots for them. But we can always change this to say whatever your opt-in is. 5 ways to use your photos. There we go. Great. And then you can add pages, and depending on, now I don't think there's going to be like opt-in. Oh, I guess, well, see, there we go. Canva has everything.
Amazing.
So I didn't think they'd have anything, honestly. So they even have templates for opt-in. Some of these are a little word heavy. I would really try to break it up. I would recommend typing in welcome guide. Those templates are a little bit more spread out. So like this guide here, there's actually 11 pages to it. So when you click on that template, you can see all the pages and how it's set out. So if you click on that, you can, put in your opt-in text, your contact info, your photos. So you can create a really nice PDF for your clients to download, or future clients to download. And to download something like this, super easy. You just hit the share button up here, and then you hit download. And it will give you options for what you can download. So if you want it set up as a PDF, you can just download it as a PDF and you don't have to worry about creating a PDF later. And it will just download. And it will also give you the option, if you just wanted to download a couple of the pages, you can do that as well. Or you can download the whole thing. So,
and I love, like, here I'm seeing these photos. And so what a great idea. I know for my photo shoot, you just walked around my house and you snapped these random photos. And so how cool is that to actually use those photos like from your office, right in your opt-in? Like, talk about tie your brand in. I love that. And I never even thought about putting your own photo on your opt-in, but that's pretty cool.
And that's why I take those kind of detail shots, is like I do them for everyone. So like Audra, I took pictures of her books and her little cup and stuff. And like, this is where you want to use those kinds of photos. Yes, you can still use them on social media, but using them on places like this, in your newsletter, on your website, as just extra visual aids for people, because they still tie into your brand. These are still things that you use, or they have visually the same messaging. So there is a use for those kinds of images. Tips. And then like a welcome guide for a client is another thing. I'm trying to figure out where my welcome guide is here. All right. So this was one I did for upcoming mini sessions I'm doing with Liz Hill. So the guide, it has the photo on the front. I put my little headshot there so they know who I am if they don't know who I am. And then I just have tips for what they can expect, what we're doing that day, what comes after. And then I have some wardrobe tips in there too, prop ideas. And then I showed them visually, here's some prop ideas, because they're all going to be writers. So your notebooks, if you have a typewriter, that's awesome. Crystals, your books you've written. And then I did wardrobe tips and had different visuals that went along with that. So I definitely recommend a welcome guide and using your brand photos for your welcome guide, because you're setting up those expectations for what people can expect. And then you're creating an even better client experience. And that's so vital. So that was that one. my favorite one, which nobody does, and this is gonna elevate you, is use your brand photos in presentations. I know so many of us speak.
Yes.
And again, people are visual. They like to be stimulated. They like to be entertained. And what better way? Most presentations I've seen have some form of slides.
Stock photo.
And they're all stock photos, all of them.
Yep.
No, maybe a headshot, maybe you'll see. And even that's rare. So this is one I've been working on for how to use your brand photos in social media. So I have like I have visual examples. Again, like you can customize your slides. So it really depends. My slides are all examples of how to use your photos. So I don't have a lot of photos of myself, but that being said, I still plopped some in there. And there's plenty of ways you could, do a slide presentation. And if you're talking, say, about mindfulness, all right, so you have you at the beginning, you could do a photo if you have yourself meditating, or maybe you have a singing bowl and have that be part of. So it's just tying those photos into your presentation and making it visually stimulating. And I guarantee it's really going to elevate you, because you're not using stock photos. You're using photos that are really impactful, and they're telling the story, and they're all tied into your brand and your messaging. So,
and I just had the idea, you could also use your photos. I know when I do a recording, a training, one of my team members goes in and they turn it into a YouTube for me, and there's a slide that has my logo on it, but why not put my photo on it as well, right?
Right, definitely. I mean, get
Although
those
I
photos.
shouldn't say that because it might be there. I'm not even sure if it's there or not.
I mean, in the end, like, get those photos everywhere. This is another
this
one.
is great.
How to use your brand photos. I put this silly little fun picture in there. So if you're going to have your brand session, like, you're going to schedule the next 6 months, and you want to be speaking, and what you're going to be speaking on, you definitely want to talk to your photographer. Hopefully it'll be me, but you definitely want to have a conversation around that, because then you can create visuals that are really tailored to that presentation.
Right. Strategy, strategy, strategy.
All strategy, and it's all about intentions. You can't just throw things out there willy-nilly, because it's not going to do anything. So presentations are, I just feel like more people need to be using their brand photos on presentations. And it's just one of those things I think people just kind of don't think about.
Absolutely. Great tip.
All right. And my last one, I believe, is Instagram stories, even Facebook stories, because they're tied together. It's a great way to sell. It's a great way to show some inside your business. So these are slides I created from my Instagram stories. And they talk a little bit about, what it's like to work with me, what we can expect.
Love it. And you could even, supplement these with some short little videos, 15-second videos for the stories. So you have a video, and then you have a slide that kind of spells out the message. I love mixing up the videos with the slides.
Definitely have a client testimonial or client video testimonial in there. Is super impactful. I created this little last one that's like, let's do this. This is how to get a hold of me.
Love it.
So these are things you want to be putting in your stories continually. So not just one and done, like once a week. You don't need to put all 10 of them in there. 1 or 2 is plenty. But again, using your photos in them to set those expectations and tie into your brand.
And this would be why you give people 50 photos.
Exactly, because it sounds like a lot, but if you really use them well, it's almost not enough.
Which is why you need to do it every year.
Exactly. Because again, too, like our offers, our businesses are constantly changing. So another way I like to use my brand photos are to kind of like a behind the scenes. So I make these little like to-do lists that show like, this is what I'm up to today. And again, if you go into the templates and type in Instagram stories, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. They have these like reminder ones, which are cute if you are a coach or give tips on like, or you're a therapist or whatever, reminder. And then you can put your reminder, don't forget to meditate today, or don't forget to, do your homework, or whatever it may be. You can put your little reminder and put a photo of yourself there, or something, even if it's one of those prop shots from your session, like the what we had, I think it was shells. I think there was a glass of wine too in yours, Gina.
Oh yeah, we have shells, we have wine, we had it all.
When you can put reminder, don't forget to have a glass, like
yeah.
Friday, don't forget to
take care
celebrate
of yourself.
So,
yeah,
whatever. It's just, oh God, there's just so many things. So that's a fun way to do it. I brought up one because I was gonna make it. I'm gonna start getting out of some of this stuff because it's gonna like confuse the bejesus out of me. Was it in this one? Yeah. Okay. So, like client wins routine. I know Mary, she talks about having a skincare routine constantly. This would be a great slide for her to put in her Instagram stories, or even if it's just a reminder for clients to do their skin routine, she can put, picture of her skincare stuff in there, her beautiful products, or actually I like the bag better, and then she can customize these with her brand colors. So it, again, will be on brand.
Love it.
And then like Rachel, inspired by what you see. Well, yeah. So we can throw, or even I know Sherry, I did a sample with her.
Within interiors.
Yeah, interiors. So just a picture of her work, and then inspired by what you see, and then
Love
call
it.
to action. There we go. Great. So again, like there's just so many ways that you can really utilize your photos and have them work for you.
This is great. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you to book a consultation and a photo session? But really, you want to start with the consultation to see what they want, right? Do they want a photo shoot? Do they want to do some videos with it? And I know, and you and I have something coming up to be announced next week that we're collaborating on together. So how can people get in touch with you? If you want to put that in the comments below the video, that'd be great. Or just tell people where they can find you.
I will do both. I'll definitely put it in the comments just to make sure my name is spelled right. But email is the best way, Teresa@teresanat.com. You can go to my website, teresanat.com. There is a contact form there, which gets emailed directly to me. But I always insist upon a consultation first to make sure that we're a right fit, because whoever you work with, you want to make sure that person makes you feel comfortable, and then to see and evaluate what your needs might be. And if you're really starting at the beginning of the journey, you might need what we will be announcing next week versus if you're maybe more established. So gauging where you are in your journey and where you want to be is crucial before we really even get into the whole process.
Excellent. Maybe you could stop sharing and we can just close out.
Yeah.
This was really great. I mean, I learned some things here.
I know it's a lot. Like, I know I was going very quickly, but I do want to say, if you ever get stuck and you're like, I don't know how to do this, just go to YouTube, put in your question, and I guarantee you're going to find a video that explains it. And
a tip for that is I always tell people to put in 2022, because, you could get somebody who's on the old version of Canva from 3 years ago. So yeah, I love that. I mean, I YouTube everything too. So what a great suggestion. Well, this has been fantastic. Again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for teaching. And thank you for your inspiration for all these great photos. And again, I've shared it out on all my platforms, so you can do that as well. And I know people are going to be watching the replay. So if you are watching the replay, please type replay and let Teresa know what your biggest takeaway was. And thanks again for being here, Teresa. And I can't wait for next week to announce what we're going to be working on together.
I know, I'm excited.
Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend.